swelling, headache or a rash, asthma, colitis, fatigue, or gas. What will today's symptom be? My loopy life with lupus. Hi guys, I'm finally here. I know I had mentioned this last May for Lupus Awareness Month was doing an updated video on things you should have when you have lupus. Last year I had redirected you to a very old video I had made on this topic, and it was in my beginning stages after I had been diagnosed, and I have learned so much more since then of things that you should have. So finally, here is the updated video of things you should have when you have lupus. So the first, and sorry guys, I have my list right here. Actually, I'm going to put it closer to me. The very first thing that I highly recommend that you get is a medical alert bracelet. Now, there's so many different places where you can get these from, but I discovered this place called InStyle ID. That's InStyle ID, and I'll put the link to their website up here as well as in the description below, so you guys can go and check them out. And the reason that I like them is that you can get whatever you want put on the back, and it's pretty easily readable, and you can choose different colors. You don't just get stuck with the red color. So I actually was able to pick a purple color for my symbol, which is the lupus color. And also it gives you the option and ability. Here, let me just remove my Fitbit so you guys can see better. It gives you the ability to take off the actual wristband part, and you can order all different styles off of the website. So you can have like some different colored bracelets so that you're not always stuck with the plain old boring chain. Now, I pretty much have just stuck with this, but I do like the option that if I wanted something dressier or something a little sporty, I can just go on the website and order the actual wristband without ordering a new ID tag, and it'll just interchange. So that's pretty cool. So what I have on mine is, it says lupus, and then it says allergies and meds, see card and wallet. And that brings me to the next thing that I think everyone with lupus should do, and that is put a card in your wallet. I have mine. As soon as you open it, I have a little window here. I've just made this up on my computer, and it folds open like this, and it just basically says my full name, my blood type, and then in the corner I wrote that I have lupus, an irregular heartbeat, and hypothyroidism, and then it lists all of my medications and the doses. And then when you flip it over, it has all my allergies, and then it also has emergency contacts. And I think that's really important. So that way it just makes it nice and easy that if something was to happen, and, you know, rescue workers were to come and they see my bracelet, they just see the card in the wallet, and it's right there for them. On top of that, I actually also have in here, just for my own reference, I got this free from, I believe, the pharmacy, and you can get these I think you can get these at any pharmacy, and it is a free medication record book. And so again, it's the same type of concept. You can put your emergency contacts, you can put your pharmacy contact, your doctor, you can put any history of surgeries, you can put your allergies, your conditions that you have. And then you have some family medical history that you can put in there. Also, then you can keep track of all of your medications, the doses, what they were prescribed for, the date that you started taking them or the date that you stopped taking them. and things like that. And so I just keep that in this little pocket at the back of my wallet. The next thing that I highly recommend having is a little mini date book. I have my big planner at home for my daily things, but it's so big and heavy to lug around. This I got free at Hallmark when I purchased some cards. I think they hand them out every year because I usually get them there. They're nice and small and compact. They can fit in my purse, and it's just a calendar for the year so that I can keep track of all of my doctor's appointments. So when I finish an appointment and I go to book my follow-up appointment, I just pull this out and mark it down right away so that I can always keep track of that. So the next thing, with that, you should always have a pen on you just so that you can jot those down. But it's also kind of good to carry your own pen, because if you are severely immune suppressed, then you can pick up germs really easily. And if you're in the doctor's office and anywhere that you use a pen that how many other people have used that could have lots of germs on it, I mean, I don't always use my own pen, but I try to remember to. Also carrying a small notebook with you so that, if you have memory issues like I do with lupus, if something pops into your head that you need to do later, you can just jot it down so that you don't forget. Or if a new symptom comes up, you can put the date and what the symptom is and how long it lasted. You can also make notes for your next doctor's appointment of things that you want to discuss with your doctor so that you don't forget anything. Just anything that you need to jot down that you don't want to forget. Just have a little notebook with you at all times. The other thing is to have good sunscreen. This is a little travel size sunscreen that I keep in my purse, and unfortunately I found anyway that the travel size sunscreens don't tend to come in anything higher than a 30 SPF. Ideally, I like to try to go with a 60 SPF or higher if I can. So for my face, I have this that's specifically for face. It's Umbrella, and this has a 60 SPF, and it's just a stick, and you can just put it on your face that way. I really like that. So I always in the summer have these in my purse just because they're nice and small and travel size. But if I know I'm going out, then I'll use my big bottle of sunscreen at home that's like a 60 SPF. Because if you are on medications that make you sensitive to sun, or if you're sensitive to sun with lupus, it's a good thing to have. But just in general, everyone should be wearing sunscreen to protect themselves from skin cancer. So another thing that's good to have if you have lupus is word search books, crossword puzzles books, Sudoku books. Those are all like games that really keep your brain active and working. As we all know, with lupus, you can get lupus fog, and this just keeps your brain active, and it can actually help with your memory. I've heard anyway. And then another thing that I think is kind of fun, just with lupus in general, you should have a hobby that can reduce stress. And one thing that I've read is really beneficial is coloring. So have a box of crayons and a coloring book on hand so that you can do some coloring, and it's supposed to be a really good stress relief. I've done it a few times myself, and it just makes you focus. It's almost like a form of meditation, so I highly recommend that. So another good thing to have is a pill sorter. And this has been my favorite pill sorter. The only downside I find to this pill sorter, because it's so cheap, the writing does wear off on it rather quickly. But because they're so inexpensive, I don't mind replacing it. You can find these on eBay, and they usually ship from China, so it might take a while to get to you. But it's cheap, it's inexpensive, and I like it because it doesn't take up a lot of room, and you can take out your pills for the day and take them to go. So you can sort them from breakfast, lunch, dinner, and bedtime. So I really like that pill sorter, and I will, if I can find that eBay link that I bought them from, I'll put that in the description below as well for you guys. Another good thing to have on hand at home, I find anyway, is Benadryl. I've heard recently, I thought it was just me, but I've heard recently in lupus forums that a lot of lupus patients will sometimes get these bouts where their skin just itches and they can't figure out why. Like there's no rash, there's nothing. And it seems to usually hit us at nighttime. And I don't know what it is, but I have found that taking 2 Benadryls when I'm really itchy, it helps get rid of it. And because it's at nighttime, the Benadryl makes you drowsy, so it kind of helps you sleep too. So I find that's good to have on hand. And another good thing to have on hand is gravel. Lupus can cause nausea, but so can all these different medications that we're on. Some of them have side effects of nausea. And my favorite gravel now, because I was finding buying just the regular gravel was making me very drowsy, and so taking it during the day was not a good thing. So I found this one. It is ginger gravel, and it's certified organic ginger liquid gel capsules. And you get 24 in a bottle. They're a little bit more pricey than your regular gravel, but they work. They help with the nausea, and they don't make you drowsy at all. So I love those. Another thing that I highly recommend, if you suffer from Sjogren's, which causes dry mouth, or sometimes some of the medications that we take, like my sleeping pill I take, can cause dry mouth as well. So I highly recommend Biotene. And so this is the mouthwash Biotene. Of course, it's not very portable because it's in a huge bottle. Now you could pour some into a little travel size container to keep in your purse, but I generally don't do that. I generally just use this at home. And it really does help moisturize your mouth. You can use it as needed. I don't think there's a limit to, oh, it says you can use up to 5 times per day. So I generally have never used it that much because most of the time I'm not home to. So I usually will use it in the morning and at night when I brush my teeth. But they also have this moisturizing mouth spray by Biotene as well. And it has like a minty flavor to it as well. So it kind of freshens your breath and it moistens it and it keeps it moisturized for up to 2 hours. So this I like to carry in my purse or have it on my nightstand in case I wake up in the middle of the night and my mouth feels dry. I just give it like a little shot. And it's really good. I'm actually running low on it by the sounds of it. I got to get some more of this. But it is a nice portable way, so during the day you can keep your mouth moist. And the other thing that I highly recommend is a very good hat for when you go outside. And this hat is an expensive hat, I won't lie. It was like $80. But honest to goodness, it is well worth the investment. This is a Tilly hat, and it is actually made of, I think it's made of a hemp material. Yeah, it's a hemp hat. And it actually provides UVA, or yeah, you know, like the UV rays. There's what, UVA, UVB, whatever. It actually provides protection from the UV rays. And it is a very heavy, durable hat. They come in all different colors and styles to choose from. And what's cool about it is, yes, it's expensive, but they provide you with a lifetime guarantee, which is what I liked. So if anything happens to your hat at all at any time in your life, they will replace it for free. So I think it's well worth the $80. Another thing you should have at all times when you're out and about is a little pocket hand sanitizer. I usually used to carry the Purell brand, and then I discovered the Bath and Body Works ones, and I love those. They're my favorite. So I always have hand sanitizer in my purse so that I keep the germs off of my hands, because we all know that our treatments compromise our immune system and we don't want to catch anything bad. So the last thing I have to show you is a little hospital bag that I put together. Okay, so a long time ago, I think it was in the first year of me being diagnosed, I had a surprise trip to the ER, and it was all because I was taking Imuran, and the Imuran started to affect my liver, and I did not know that was happening. All I knew is that I felt sick and I was throwing up and I couldn't stop throwing up. So we went to the ER, and it turns out I had to stay in the hospital for a whole week. Now, I went and I was not prepared for that at all. I didn't know I was going to be admitted and staying there. And I had nothing with me. I didn't have a change of clothes. I didn't have a change of underwear. I didn't have toothbrush, deodorant, none of that stuff. So as soon as I came home, I made up this little bag right here. And this stays by our door at all times. And it has a little bag, a toiletry bag. And I have shaving cream, travel size shaving cream. I have a travel toothbrush. I have deodorant. I have shampoo and conditioner, a razor. I have mouthwash, a bar of soap, face wash, dental floss, toothpaste, and I even have body lotion. These are body lotion wipes. So sometimes I will come and dig stuff out of here when I'm going on an actual trip, but for the most part they stay there. And of course I check the expiry dates on things every now and then to make sure, and if they've expired I replenish. But those are there. And then I also have a word search thing in there. And I also have a bag with some pajamas and underwear to take with me. And then I also have this sheet that I made up, which we have one hanging in our cupboard and we have one in here. And it is a sheet that has all of my medications and the doses, who prescribed them, what they're prescribed for, and what time of the day I usually take them. Because I found when I went into that hospital, they kept screwing up. They brought me my medications that I needed, but they were bringing them all at the wrong times. And they were bringing things that I was supposed to take on an empty stomach with my breakfast. So I made up this chart. It tells exactly when. And so I can just hand that to them and say, here, this is all the information. It also has my lupus doctor's info, my family doctor's info, and my pharmacy's info. It has my allergies, emergency contact, blood type, birth date, name, and it's just this little chart. And I actually have a file of it. I don't know what type of file it is, but if you're interested in it, I could always, you can always PM me with your email address, and I can always forward you the file that you can fill in your own info on it, because it's a really good thing to have. Yeah, so that's my little hospital bag, just in case. And you know, we did have that situation 2 summers ago where I had pericarditis. Thankfully, I was only in the hospital just overnight, but we brought this with me, and I was so glad that I did, because there was some things in it that I did actually end up needing. And oh, another thing that you guys might want to have is some lip balm, or I guess they call it lip balm that has an SPF in it as well, so your lips are protected from the sun. And I think that is about it. Just something to store all your pill bottles in. For me, I just have a little basket that sits on top of our bread box, and that holds most of my pills. Some of the ones that I take like at 5:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I just keep those on my nightstand. But if you have children, you might want to get a lock box to put all your pill bottles in to make sure that no little hands get in there. And yeah, and I guess the last thing I would suggest when you have lupus and it's hard to, sometimes chores feel overwhelming, like cleaning in your home or whatever, I suggest making up a chore chart. And this way you can divide up your cleaning tasks so that it's not overwhelming. And that's what I've done, and I find it really works. I have no more than 1, maybe 2 at most cleaning tasks per day, and that's it. Once they're done, that's it. I move on and I look at the chart the next day and see what's there. And I find that that really helps, because it's much better than putting it off and then having like a whole day of cleaning where you overextend yourself. It's so much better to just say, okay, today I'm going to clean the bathroom. Tomorrow I'm going to dust. The next day I'm going to vacuum. And then the rest of the day is yours to relax or do whatever you want to do. So I would highly suggest that. When I continue on, I know I haven't done my organizational videos in a while, but when I continue on with those, I am going to show you guys my chore chart and how I've done it. But anyways, guys, that is my updated things you should have when you have lupus video. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, and I hope you found this information valuable and useful. And I got a jet because I got to go and catch my bus for work. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye! Well, I did forget something, apparently, and it is one of the most important things that you should have, and that is a heating pad. This heating pad here is homemade. I picked it up when we were in St. Jacobs for our anniversary, and I love it. I use it all the time. I can't remember what it said it's filled with. I think it's filled with some kind of a bean or barley or something like that, along with some lavender. And so this is like just the cover, so you can wash the cover. And then it just looks like that material. And it's in little squares, 4 little squares. And I just fold it up like this, and I put it in the microwave on high for 3 minutes. And it comes out nice and warm. And I can put it on any achy joints I have. Usually right now, lately, I've been using it on either my knees or even putting it on my face for my jaw. So definitely, I love these because they're flexible and they're soft, compared to, you know, some of those, gel ones, or I used to have the heat and a click ones where you click something inside and it instantly heats it up. But the problem I had with that was then as it started to cool down, it started to harden and it was not comfortable at all. But this I love. I actually want more of these so I can do several body parts. But yes, definitely you want a heating pad for sure. Also, these books are really good to have. This is Living Well with Lupus Facts. It is by far my favorite lupus go-to book. I got it from Lupus, Ontario, and you can order it from their website. I'll have a link in the description below. It is an excellent book. It's very detailed, but it's in terms that you can understand. Also, the Lupus book by Daniel J. Wallace. Now, this is the 4th edition. I believe there's been more since then. This is a little bit more detailed than this, but it's also a little more, it has a little bit more medical jargon. So, but it is a wealth of information. Lastly, this is a book I got. I'm still in the process of filling it out, but I'm almost finished. It's When I'm Gone, Practical Notes for Those You Leave Behind. Now, we know with lupus, there is always the chance that we could end up in the hospital or we could die. It's not something that we like to talk about, but it can happen. And this basically is a book that you can provide all sorts of information about how to manage your home, what happens with your pets, with your, just telling where things are in the house. And it's not just for if someone passes away. It could be if you end up in the hospital for an extended period of time and you have someone at home that needs to know certain things. These are all here. It tells them what friends you would like contacted or other family. It tells them where certain things are found in the house if they can't find them. It discusses how to care for pets, just practical things, to tell you where your will is and things like that. So this isn't meant to be a will. A will would be separate, but this is just like practical stuff to do with your life and your home. It's got important people, documents and records, legal advice, health and medical care, children and other dependents, pets, finances, property, home maintenance, vehicles and motorized tools, computers, TVs, and other electronics, your favorite things, personal history, so far away, and in the end. So it just covers all kinds of things. And I, again, will put the link to that in the description below. And yeah, so I just thought I would throw that in there. I realized that I totally forgot these items and they're very, very important. All right, guys, we will see you next time. Bye.